Hello everyone, Ed Knudsen here, doing my presentation about some differences between Exchange 2010 and 2007. There were some great improvements and I would like to demonstrate them to all of you. So one of my favorite improvements is all of the improvements to the OWA interface on Exchange 2010. I think that a lot of people concentrate on a lot of the differences on the back end of the server, but it is also very important to pay attention to what some of your end users see. Most users probably use Outlook, but a lot of users also use the Outlook web app because it is available anywhere and you don't have to install any software to get to it. I think that when Microsoft says that it is only available as a last-ditch effort to access your Outlook account or your emails, that is maybe a little bit of an oversight because a lot of people actually use that every day for their email. Some of the differences I see were conversations. There are better themes, default themes, text messaging support, and there are a lot of other features as well. So here's 2007. Here's a screenshot of someone's 2007 OWA page. You can see it's very basic. Not a lot of features here. The page isn't designed very modern, and obviously this is somebody from another country, but you can see there aren't a lot of added features on this page. It's pretty basic, but it gets the job done. Here's a screenshot of an Outlook web app from a 2010 Exchange server. You can see that there's some added interfaces here. This demonstrates the conversations here maybe a little bit better than I do later on. And you can see it looks very modern. A lot more options here on the screen, and things are laid out a little bit more easy to use. Here's one little thing that I really like about Outlook web app and Exchange 2010. When I mouse over the name of the mailbox, it'll show you how much space you have available to you and how much space you have used. This will really help with making sure that end users stay on top of keeping their space conservatively used, and also make sure that they don't go above their limit. Here's another big thing, another huge change. A lot of people really don't like it, and to be honest, I don't use it either. It's easy to get lost messages in here. You'll think you won't get a message from somebody, but it'll be lost inside of a conversation. But conversations were a huge thing that came out with Outlook 2010 and Outlook web app for Exchange 2010, and a lot of people have a very definite opinion on that. Here's something that a lot of people don't really talk about much, but I thought was really cool. In Outlook web app for Exchange 2010, they have a lot more themes. The themes for 2007 were really basic. In 2010, it has really modern themes. They're kind of fun. Most of them are kind of funky, kind of the same as like Microsoft on MSN Messenger. They got some really funky themes, but they're really modern. They're kind of fun, and also it makes it a little bit less bland every time you load your email. Makes it a little more exciting and a little more fun to change that up every once in a while. Get a little bit different experience. Text messaging. There's a lot of added text messaging features with the new version of OWA. You can send alerts for calendar notifications and for emails as well, and actually you can do text messages straight from the OWA page. You can, instead of sending an email, you can just send a text message. Now this only works with some providers, and it has to be set up on the server backend before it's available to the users, but it is a pretty neat feature that has been added. Here's a feature that a lot of people really like as well. When you share calendars with somebody, you can view their calendar side by side next to yours. so you can see if there are any schedule conflicts really easily. You don't have to flip back and forth between the calendars. You can view them right side by side, so if you're looking for a date when you're able to meet up with somebody and they have that time free as well, you can just view their calendar as long as they've shared it with you and make sure that you both have that time available for a certain meeting. This is more of a back-end thing, but I thought it was really neat. Previously, when you wanted to replicate mailbox databases in Exchange and you had an Exchange server that you'd already done the install on, you had to uninstall Exchange and then reinstall it, selecting it as a replicated mailbox database server. Now with Exchange 2010, you don't have to reinstall Exchange. All you have to do is create what they call a database availability group. This is available under your server configuration and mailbox page. It's really helpful to not have to reinstall a whole software that can take a very long time, well, a considerably long time to install when you're trying to do something to improve performance in or reliability in your organization. Exchange ActiveSync, there are a lot of added features to that. Now, especially since a lot of email is being done from mobile devices, of course there's going to be a lot more released features for mobile devices as well. There's a lot more control over mobile devices through Exchange ActiveSync, and this is really great for administrators and making sure that users are properly accessing their email, and also in the event that a mobile device is stolen or that is lost, or the user is let go from the organization, you can control their device and make sure that the sensitive emails that could be on that device are handled properly. Now, with older versions of OWA, there were not a lot of browsers you could use. Now there's a lot more browsers you can use with Outlook Web App. I use Chrome almost every day with Outlook Web App, and it works really well. Firefox also now has really good support, and so does Safari. Other browsers may have good support as well, but I don't track a lot of other browsers. One thing that people also can make use of is delivery reports. You don't have to use Outlook Web App for this. You can make sure that a user got an email from you, so when somebody turns around and says, "I never got that email," you can prove that they got that email because you can create a delivery report for any email you want. You can also confirm that you received an email and then print off that report as well if you'd like. Now with Outlook, or with Exchange 2010, there's a more robust best practices analyzer. This is making sure that you have a good baseline for your server, you know how it's supposed to be performing, and also to check on the health of the server and make sure that it is performing properly in your organization. It's really good for troubleshooting, and also it's good to keep track of this stuff before the server goes into heavy production, and also while it's in heavy production and you aren't having any issues, so that you know how the server is supposed to normally function. And here's a little page with all my sources. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. This has been Ed Knudsen, and a little presentation on comparing Outlook or Exchange 2010 with Exchange 2007.